It is Atlantic Canada Cooks. My name is Michelle Alcorn and I'm with my awesome mom, Helen Alcorn. We're live here in our kitchen in Albert County, New Brunswick. And we're really excited about this week's theme. And I know I do say that every week, but it's vegetarian, but it's also September 1st. So welcome to September around the world. Everybody I talk to says the same thing. And I've got a guest here, Luis. We're like, where did the summer go?
I enjoyed the summer. It was a warm summer for sure.
It was. Here in Atlantic Canada, I love hearing you say that. And Luis is one of our guests, and he's from Venezuela, some Colombian roots as well. And so for him to say it was a warm summer, we know it was a good warm summer.
It was warm enough, yes.
Right? And that means a good growing season for our farmers and farmers markets, which of course here on Atlantic Canada Cooks is so very important to us. So having a vegetarian menu is extra exciting because when Mom and I were walking the farmers market, which often Moncton, because we get to see Luis, and guess what? We get to get some amazing empanadas. But we can see our local vegetables now on our farm stands consistently. And now there was so much squash, right, Mom? Some of our favorite squash were out. This one, which we'll be featuring on a future episode, which is a delicata squash. It's like my little baby. I love this one. And so today we're going to make, of course, another vegetable that I like to say it's zucchini season here, where they can be drumsticks. Is zucchini, and everybody's growing zucchini. Lots of people grow it in their backyard. We're working on it. They're little right now, but it is such an incredible vegetable because zucchini can really turn into anything and everything. There's like zucchini crust for pizzas, zucchini muffins, a lot of different things. But today, Mom and I are going to be a little bit authentic. We are making zucchini rolls, and we're going to use two different kinds of zucchini, a yellow and a green zucchini. And we're going to make these beautiful little miniature cups or bakes that are going to go in the oven that are wonderful when you're serving friends or just a great side dish. They look like wheels. They're going to look like wheels. Exactly. So we're going to do those up. We're also, and you know what? I love pad thai. It's one of my favorite things in the world to make. And one of the things important in vegetarian cooking is also a lot of nut butters and things that are used. So a huge shout out to Nutsmith. This is an incredible company in Windsor, Nova Scotia. Good morning, there's Shinobu coming in from Japan. I see Sammy here, Moncton Jordan connection, Joan, always. So this is amazing. We love local products. And we're going to be making a peanut butter sauce that's going to go into our pad thai. And then our last recipe is going to be these, it's like a nut butter power bar or energy bar. Because guess what? Healthy eating is so important. And we know September 1st around the globe, a lot of back to school is going to happen. People get busier, and I'm going to get Luis to talk about his recipe, but also talk a little bit about his extreme passion for health and wellness. And I love it because I go see him Mom and I are always there visiting him at the market. And while he's telling you a bit about what his recipe is going to be, I'm going to get my breakfast, I'm going to call it empanada, heat it up. But you know, when you focus on healthy living, everything is really better in your life. And we really hope that we inspire people to get back in the kitchen. And we know September, children are going back to school for those of you who have kids, and sometimes we don't cook as much. So hopefully we're going to show you some more recipes that you can do to keep the healthy in your life. So Luis, tell us what you're going to be cooking, and I'm going to heat this up.
Yeah, yes. Thank you, Michelle. And I love that you bring the healthy aspect of cooking. It is very important to, treat yourself properly. And as you age, the better you eat, the better you are in all aspects. So today, this is going to be the protagonist. This is the bread from my country. Is we call it harina pan, which but it is nothing but cornmeal. You call it cornmeal here in North America. Um, let's say it's being prepared in the area which is nowadays Venezuela and Colombia for at least 6,000 years. 6,000 years. Um, until 1960, the people would wake up very early in the morning, 4 in the morning, and they had these giant mortars, and they started milling the white corn. But in 1916, these guys from the very big company in Venezuela invented the industrial process. So nowadays, and mostly due to the Venezuelan migration, which is vast, we have this corn meal in 80 countries in the world. So this product is one of the best breads you can eat. We call them arepas, and today we're going to make uh, arepas with zucchini and with carrots, which is available all the time, cheap, and packed with nutrients. So we are also going to make a filling for those arepas with avocados. And if you check this out, there's something missing here: proteins. So I'm gonna make some. I'm gonna add to my avocados chickpeas. The chickpeas are packed with proteins, and in fact, all legumes, all let's say black beans, red beans, all the beans are packed with proteins. Are in my opinion are the food of the future, because in the future when we go to the space to conquer other planets, we cannot bring the cows, but we can bring the beans. So yes, I'm excited to do this, guys, and show you how to make your best bread in the world.
Luis, I love the story behind the early morning and getting up, and that's pouring a bit of ourselves into those recipes. So we're excited to see and just experience a little bit more of that food culture. So let's talk about getting those healthy things in. So Mom and I are gonna start 2 recipes right now. I'm gonna get some of the things cooking for the pad thai, and I want you to see how fast pad thai can come together. And I think a lot of people think it's complicated. It's really not. So one of the first things we're gonna do is we're gonna make the sauce for it, but we've just got the burner turned on in the back. And the very simple ingredients for pad thai, and I love this. What we're gonna be doing is I've got some chicken here all cut up. We often give you tips. We bought chicken thighs, so I know that I seasoned 2 chicken thighs, and then I slice them into strips. And I know I'm gonna get that serving size that I'm looking for. And we just cut each of them into little strips, so they'll cook up very quickly in the pan, and then they'll be going into our pad thai. For seasoning, I put a little bit of salt and pepper, some garlic powder, and a tiny bit of ginger powder, because I know that that's gonna give that nice flavor that's gonna go into my pad thai. So the other simple ingredients, and this is what I love about this recipe, they're bright and fun. And you're only gonna need a few other things. And we have some beautiful sliced green onions. I've got a bowl of fresh cilantro. Oh, I wish I had smell-o-vision, because this is from my backyard. I just picked it just before the show. So we've got fresh cilantro. And in this bowl, we've got 1 egg. We've got some nice bean sprouts. So we pick up the farmers market yesterday. Wonderful Lewis Mountain Farms. And there's fresh bean sprouts this time of year. So that's exciting. And then, like Luis, I'm using some carrot. And these, I just use my carrot peeler and I keep peeling.
Mhm. Yep.
So that the carrots are into these wonderful little ribbons or strips, which also means they cook really quickly. So, because then, sometimes maybe you don't use a carrot because it won't takes too long. So keep peeling with your carrot peeler all the way down and you'll have these wonderful ribbons. So we know that this is going to be going in, so we're going to get the pan going. The other thing that I'm using are these wonderful pad thai noodles, and look at how this comes in a little nest. Right, so we know that we've got a size for serving there. And I'm making this batch of pad thai enough for Mom and I lunch today. So I know I actually can use one thing of noodles, because if you looked in my other bowl, I am going to be making up that with, look how much, it's almost the same ratio of noodle as you're gonna put to bean sprouts. So there's a lot of great vegetable, and we of course have our protein from our egg, and we've got our chicken. Now, a lot of really true to nature vegetarians would probably add some tofu in there and maybe not use chicken at all. Whatever your pleasure, or as you like to get that in there. So those are going, and I think that's just getting warm enough. And you're gonna see how quickly this comes together. So while Mom is getting those ingredients cooked, I'm gonna mix the peanut sauce for us. So here what we want to look at. I've just got a bowl. And it's fun because we talk about artists and music, and what's really great is this I bought when I was in Priano, Italy. So I love using it to cook with because it brings me back amazing memories. And I love because I'm using my Italian bowl to make an Asian sauce. Food fusion, right? Food fusion in this one. So we talk about local. So what I'm gonna be using, I gotta find my, there it is. So we're gonna get out, and in the pad thai sauce that I like to make, I love the nut butter, that peanut butter flavor. And I see my really good friend Shinobu's here. Shinobu and I were just talking about this on Wednesday night in Conversation Club about herbs or peanut butter, and how much peanut butter is used in some cultures and not in others. And do you remember Shinobu? The funny discussion is, it was Shinobu, myself, and Eduardo is from Mexico. And he said, Michelle, we don't use a lot of nut butters in Mexico.
No.
It's right. But in Asia, in Japan, where Shinobu is, definitely consumers of a lot of different type of nut butters. So interesting when we learn about food culture. So I am going to be, so for the amount of pad thai I'm making, I'm putting about 2 tablespoons. Unbelievable smell. This is the Nutsmith Smooth. The red label is the smooth. So I'm going to use the crunchy one in my next recipe. So this is fresh local peanut butter from here. We love that. You can see that it doesn't have the extra processing that maybe some of the store-bought ones have. And I know that the flavor is going to be amazing. So I've got about 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. Now I'm going to take about a tablespoon of soy sauce. Use your favorite soy sauce, whatever one that you like. I often buy low sodium just so that I can control the salt. Now, I would suggest you use a traditional fish sauce. And I just got this on my nose. But I'm going to use, this is a fish sauce blended Vietnamese sauce that already has some of that seasoning, and I can buy that in the store. And I know they did a great job making it. And I'm going to add a little bit of rice vinegar. Now, the thing about rice vinegar, and I really recommend you get some in your kitchen, is it's a very mild vinegar. It gives the acid that you're looking for, but it doesn't have such a bold flavor that it overpowers your dish. And I often use it for pickling vegetables, that type of idea. So I'm going to blend this peanut sauce, and what you see is the main ingredient really is that peanut butter in this sauce. And I'm just going to mix it together so it's creamy. And that's going to go in with my noodles and really act a little bit more like the sauce for my pad thai. Now I've got one other ingredient I'm gonna add. What's that, Ma? Oh, yeah, are those all cooked? Yeah. All right, let's show them what we got going on. And you could throw your noodles in. Timer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna get Mom to bring the pan over. I'm also gonna add just about a teaspoon, and this is tomato paste. Smell? That smells amazing. Here we can. So that chicken is all cooked up. So what Mom's gonna do is she's just gonna push the chicken to the side, perfectly cooked, Mom. And now what we're gonna put in the middle is an egg, and she's gonna scramble that egg up. And then we're gonna add our vegetables and put those together. So let's not lose our heat. And you get some olive oil right beside you there with the green lid. So usually I use a sesame oil when I'm doing that, but I'm out of sesame oil. So we're using olive oil. Try to use a natural oil with these because it's all staying in the pan. There we go. So that little bit of tomato sauce goes in and it gives it a nice thickening agent. And there is gonna be the sauce that's gonna go in our pad thai. This peanut sauce, you can make it a little thinner if you would like. Use it for a dipping. Because one thing we love to say here in Atlantic Canada Cooks, food is meant to be sauced. Always good with sauces. And speaking of that, I know Luis makes my favorite garlic sauce. Yeah. And we're gonna put our empanada in. So we can taste that. So it only needs about 2 minutes in an air fryer. So I'm gonna have a midway snack while Luis is doing some cooking here in a few minutes. So pad thai is making. I'm gonna mix one other ingredient, and Luis, I'm gonna go over to your kitchen.
All right.
So give me just one more second so I can do some work while you're cooking. This is what teamwork makes the dream work. I've got a pan here, and I love my mother for reminding me of things. We're gonna do our zucchini rolls or tuiles in these. This is a spray olive oil. And what I'm gonna do is just give each one of these a little spray because we don't want them to stick to the sides. So you can use whatever type, or you can just use some oil to grease them. So we've got that here. Because what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be using this very, very thin sliced zucchini strips I've done. And we're gonna be wrapping those into here, but we're gonna stuff the middle of them with a tomato mixture. So I think I'm making my way around the globe. This is a little bit of nod to Italy. In this are fresh tomatoes that I got at the Rabia store yesterday. And so these are beautiful fresh tomatoes. I've cubed them, you'll see. The other thing I have here is I have some diced onion. Red onion I diced, and I did soak this in a little bit of rice wine vinegar because I want to get the bite of the onion out. So, but it's still onion, there's a little salt and pepper in there. And I'm gonna mix the tomato and onion mixture, and they're almost 50-50. So I'm gonna mix these two together. I should have chose a bigger bowl. And right now I'm gonna add some garlic to it. So Mom's got a question. Yeah, you can put those in. Mom's gonna just looking for the green onion to add in half, Mom. Oh. There we go. There's the benefit. We threw them all in. We grabbed a handful back out. Gotta like it when they're on top. Yeah, I think we've all done that. So I am going to put in this mixture. So I've got onion, tomato, salt and pepper, and I've got this beautiful fresh basil. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna go over to Luis's kitchen. I am gonna give him a haircut. And I'm gonna take some of this wonderful, unbelievable fresh basil, and I'm gonna put it with my tomato and onion mixture. Because this is what's gonna be going with my zucchini into the oven. So Luis, I'm gonna put it over to you to let's see what is cooking in your kitchen.
All right. So let's begin with the arepas because the arepas takes some time. It's very, very easy to make them. but they need some time in the oven. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grate these zucchinis with a normal grater like this, and voila, you grate, let's say, for one arepa, I'm gonna use like this amount of zucchini. So it's like a quarter of it, right? It's gonna be a medium-sized arepa. A breakfast for one person. In fact, what I'm preparing here is the breakfast for my family, for my wife and son. So it's the real thing. So it looks like this, yeah, the grated zucchini. So after I grate it, I'm just gonna add our protagonist, harina pan or cornmeal, as they call it in English, right? So how much do I put? Well, to be honest, this is something I have learned my whole life. So I just use my eyes. I don't measure. I don't. It's just like this, you know. Boom. This is one arepa, and then I'm gonna do the same with the carrots. I'm gonna grate a carrot, or not the whole thing, but let's say half carrot, half medium-sized carrot. I'm gonna grate it as well. I will show you, friends, how it looks. I grated the whole thing. Boom. One whole carrot, grated there, and again, I use my harina pan, and I put it there. Boom. So what else does the arepa dough carrot or need? Salt at your taste. I put a couple of, I would say a half of a teaspoon for arepa. And the other one, the other arepa I'm making is gonna be the traditional one. I mean, without anything, without zucchini or carrots, because I want you to see how it looks without it, right? Now, I'm gonna add water to this. And how much water? Again, as soon as it's good to your eye, stop putting water. So again, this is the magic of this. Look how I'm mixing this with my hand. With my hand, as easy as it looks. All right, this is done. This is done. Now zucchini one. Same thing. With my hand. Super easy. If you feel it needs more flour, put more flour. You can, if you end up with dough, you can put the dough in a container and put it in the fridge, and it will be good for even 3 days. So you can make arepas the day after or the other day after you prepare the arepas, right? So down here, I'm gonna give the shape of the arepa with my very hands. So check this out, guys. I make a bowl, and after I make the bowl, you just go like this, and I make a circle like this. Eh? Gonna put the circle here, and I'm gonna make the carrot one. Same thing. I make a bowl, and I make the circle. Just like this. Aborigine way. Right? So the next step is to make a crust on the arepas on each side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a cast iron pan. If you don't have a cast iron pan, any pan can do it. Yeah, but iron cast is cast iron is the best option, right? So I'm gonna make the crust in both arepas, and while I'm doing that, I'm gonna let Michelle continue. All right, I'll then show you later on.
Luis, I just chopped up some amazing fresh garlic that I grown in my garden. I have to say that Mom's standing beside me, I'm like, woo, we can smell the garlic. It's so delicious. So in my tomato basil, it's pretty much like I made bruschetta here that's going into this. So we've got the garlic and we've got the onions and tomatoes, that beautiful fresh basil, and I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper to it now. Because we want to make sure that we've got that flavor in our mixture that's going in. And really it is, Mom. It's just like we've got a whole thing of bruschetta made here.
Oh, nice.
And it's absolutely beautiful. Look at that. You can see all the different colors. It's I love it too because the thing they often say about it is like the colors of the Italian flag. Right? Or many flags in the world, but because the basil is so fresh, the garlic's super fresh.
Smell from here.
Right, look at that, Mom. Oh, and it's just gonna be, and local everything today, so we're really, it gets me a little bit more excited than usual about that. So we're going to finish off our pad thai and pull that recipe together, because Mom's got everything ready here. So Mom. So here's what's going on. We've got this beautiful hot mixture. And I want to show everybody how, first of all, great it looks. I'm getting a little steam here. So we've got our chicken. We've got those beautiful green onions in there. Mom scrambled the egg up perfectly. And then those carrot kind of ribbons, as we call them. And if you see, they softened up just right. And they cooked through. And what we're going to do here, let me just move this. I'm going to do a little trick. So here's our pan. It's still warm. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of that pad thai sauce that we have. And by the way, one ingredient I did add to this, such an important ingredient too, was some fresh garlic. If you could just give me a little warm water, or do we have anything left in the noodle bowl? No. Put a little bit here. There we go. So we need a little tiny bit of moisture. We're going to put this on and let it stir fry together. In this pan, we've got our rice noodles. So I'm just going to pour the rice noodles into here. Mom, we'll put that back burner back on low. And there we go. So you're going to see that pad thai come together. And the reason why we're just gonna put it on the burner for about another minute is I just want to give that sauce, because it has a bit of the raw tomato paste in it. I just want to give that sauce a little bit of time to cook through, and we're only talking about 2 minutes. It already looks like a perfect pad thai. Look at that, Mom. It smells amazing. But again, we're gonna give it to Mom. We're gonna let her just finish that off. And I hope it inspires you to make some fresh pad thai at home. Now, Mom, on the other hand, it needs about that little bit of water you got me. Put about 2 tablespoons more in there. That recipe is easy. I often make it for myself at lunch so that I've got something fresh and I can eat it right away. So, and the other thing that I love about food is how much and how it brings people together. And it's something to celebrate. It feels good. Everybody gets excited. I know every Saturday morning, Mom and I are always talking about going to get our empanada. And sometimes we're late. So I now have the habit of letting Luis know in advance. We are running late today. Please save me this flavor or the other flavor. And yesterday we had to ask, because I think this is one of your most popular, which I love for our vegetarian theme, is this is a mushroom and leek. The flavors in it are extraordinary. I'm going to cut it open so that you guys can see it. I got a knife right here, Mom. And I just took it out of the air fryer. And remember, I said it was only 2 minutes in that air fryer, and I still can barely touch it because it's hot. Really hot. Okay. This team is coming off it, which just means those flavors. Look at the inside of this incredible empanada. I love the twist that Luis has done on the pastry and the crust. It's so thin. So to me, it's all about those ingredients on the inside. And if you can see in there, it is full of those mushrooms and leeks. And in the spirit of food is meant to be sauced. And I love this sauce. And I also appreciate that Luis now sells this sauce, which you can get in containers as well to have to put pretty much on anything. Because you know, food is meant to be sauced. You can put this on everything. We can take an old put that stuff on everything quote from.
And put it in your ice cream.
So good. So good. So this is the beautiful garlic sauce that goes with this. Now, my other thing about an empanada that's amazing is you don't need a fork and knife.
No.
They're a hand pie. One of the best things about this is it really is. So put a little bit of your sauce across, and then you're able to have, look at that amazing bite. And we're not even vegetarian, and this is literally one of our favorite to get each and every week. I can see my mother beside me. I'll be handing it over to her.
I ate mine yesterday.
You did, but we're gonna share, always sharing is caring. And it really is one of our favorite. I make a potato leek soup I've made on here before. I do a lot with mushrooms. And we've got a mushroom theme coming up. Really excited about that week. I'm also gonna be at the Moncton Farmers Market for our 4th year in a row for zero waste. I think Luis is gonna be joining me for that on November 3rd. So we've got a lot of exciting things happening on Atlantic Canada Cooks. So let's get into finishing off the last couple of ingredients that are gonna go into my zucchini one, and Luis, we'll go right back over to you.
Right.
In this mixture, the other thing I'm gonna add to it is I'm gonna add some fresh oregano, which is so funny. This is an imported dried oregano from Italy. And if you see all this seasonings down in the bottom of this bag, but I just give it a little rub and that aroma is coming out. So I'm gonna put a little bit of that dried oregano in with my mixture. And I'm putting about a tablespoon, and again, it kind of just amps up that Italian flavor. So, and if you think about zucchini has a lot of moisture in it itself, zucchini itself. So here's our pan. I'm gonna do one, and then I'll do the rest while Luis is showing us his recipes. But let me see if I can get something to set this on. Mom, I might need a hand.
All right.
Go. Got it. I've been like using a coffee container. There we are. When I set it up, you can see. So I'm gonna take a green zucchini and a yellow zucchini. And I'm gonna layer them just sort of together. And what I am doing is I'm gonna roll them together. And then I'm placing them inside of these muffin tin. I honestly was forgetting my English. Completely couldn't remember the word muffin tin. Thank you, Mom. So what you're sort of doing is you're putting one on one side and one on the other. So I'm creating a cup. And I'm gonna put that around each one. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stuff my mixture of my tomatoes. So excited. Like putting the bruschetta mixture into the middle. And I honestly stuff about a tablespoon in because that's about what fits. And these are so pretty when they're done. I'm gonna show it to you. There we go. You see it looks like a little flowerette. And then of course, we really like to make that extra fun. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna top it off with a little bit of cheese. So on the top of this, I'm just gonna put some cheese. So each one of these cups I'm gonna fill again with putting one of my, and I'm just using the zucchini tastes the same, by the way. I don't know, maybe the yellow's a little sweeter. So you're gonna put your zucchini in. And then you put your mixture, and you can use whatever nice different seasonings you want in this mixture. It doesn't need a sauce, and I'm gonna stress that because the zucchini has moisture and so does the tomato mixture. And then again, we're gonna stuff a little bit of cheese on top. And these are gonna bake for about 25 to 30 minutes until that's cooked down and the cheese is melted. So Luis, we're gonna go back over to you.
All right.
Continue the same process and finish stuffing the rest of these muffin tins with these wonderful zucchini pinwheels.
Beautiful. So guys, I want to show you how the arepas look like. So this is my cast iron pan. I like this one because it has this kind of a grill stuff. And originally the arepas are made on the grill. So look how beautiful they look. Eh? So this is the first part. This is already, I already eat the crust on both sides. Now I have to put them in the oven. So I have this small oven that I love for many things I do. So instead of turning on the big oven, I have this small one. I put the arepas there. 3 arepas for my family for today's breakfast. Boom. And this has a roast option. So I put it there. I'm gonna give it 20 minutes. Boom. And it's running now. So we are done with the arepas. And now let's go back here to my prep table and let's make the filling, right? The filling is gonna be a guacamole with the chickpeas. So we're gonna have a lot of things here. We're having the carrots, we have the zucchini, we have tomato, we have green onion, which can peel, and cilantro, garlic, and with all those ingredients, we're going to make the chickpeas guacamole. So first thing, 1 clove of garlic. You mince it or cut it very, very small or whatever, and you put it in the bowl. Then green onion, I cut it very thin and I put it there. White part, green part, doesn't matter. You can use other onion type like onion, or you can use shallots or any other onion type you have. It could be leeks as well, but if you use the leeks, only use the white part and cut it very, very small. And the trick that Michelle did is very good. You can put it with salt and pepper in a plate or in a bowl for 10 minutes, and it will kill the harshness of the onion, right? And so you won't be smelling. Your mouth wouldn't be smelling too much like onion, right? Also, if you want, you can put it some lemon, and it's also very good. But the lemon, of course, is or vinegar, like the rice vinegar or wine vinegar or apple vinegar, which are mild vinegars, are very good. And you put it there 10 minutes, and it's very, very good. Every time you use onions in salads and you're eating a lot of onion, try to do this trick. Even water is very good for the ceviches. It's great to put the onions in the water so you can soften the flavor of the onions. Now, so I put the garlic, I put the green onion. I'm gonna put like a tomato cut in very small dices, right? And I'm gonna put it a little bit of cilantro. I didn't grow it like Michelle. I got it from Costco. Oh, Walmart. But it's okay. It's fresh enough. A nice cilantro. One trick for the cilantro and all your fresh herbs is to wash them and dry them very well. Water is the enemy of all herbs, all fresh herbs. So you wash them, you dry them very well with a towel, paper towel, and you put it in the fridge, folded with the paper towel. You know, very dry, and it will last more, and it will be fresher when you take it out of the fridge. Right. So I have cilantro, garlic, tomato, green onion, and gonna add the avocados, of course. In South America, we have these giant avocados, which I miss a lot. But this has avocados that all the stores and the commerce bring here to Canada and the States are Hass variety. Hass variety is great. It's small, very creamy, very nice avocados, and I can't complain. This is very good in terms of flavor. I just miss those giant things we have in South America, in Venezuela, Colombia, and so on. So if you cut an avocado, this is the technique. Let me show you. You take the avocado and you cut it in half, right? Maybe many of you already know, but it's not. It doesn't hurt to, check this out. So you're gonna end up with two slices of the avocado, and then you have the pip. So you do like this, boom, on the pip, and you twist, and voila, here you have your avocado ready to cut, right? So after that, you cut it in squares like this for the guacamole, inside, and with a spoon, you take the pulp out. This, show you. Boom, falling in the bowl, guys. Oh, you're not seeing it here, right? Here again. Fall in there. The other one. So I'm using 2 avocados. All right. And now I have the bowl here with my avocados, and with a fork. You don't need any special tool to do this. You just with a fork. You make a rustic guacamole. So you smash it, and you smash it as long as you want until it is good to your eye. I like it rustic. I mean, I like to find little pieces of avocado, so I'm not going to smash this too much. Boom, that's it. Of course, you can do this and put it in a blender or put it in a food processor or whatever. I don't recommend that. I prefer to find these chunks of food here because I like to taste the avocado and taste the texture of it. So what is missing here? Salt and some acidity. So the acidity could be lemon or can be vinegar. I prefer lemon. Fresh lemon, don't use that bottle thing. That is gross. So I'm gonna add the lemon here. Is that it? And voila, that's it. This is it. A roasted guacamole.
I want to know if you deliver, because that's one of our favorite things to see on here. One of my favorite things is a guacamole. And I couldn't agree with you more, Luis, because when you put it into a blender, it turns it into a cream. You don't get your individualized kind of flavors that come through.
We call it tropezones in Spanish. It's when you find something in your bag.
Right?
Exactly. So what is missing here? Is missing the protein. So I have these beautiful chickpeas I prepare. Yeah, just put it in water overnight, drain the water, and put water again and boil them until they're soft with salt. But that's it. So these chickpeas are going to your taste in the guacamole. Yes, believe it or not. So the guacamole is going to give them flavor and it's going to be tasty when you put it in the arepas, right? And very important, it's going to give you proteins that you need. So look how they like. Guacamole with chickpeas. It's a twist. I just figured this out yesterday. This is not an old recipe or something. It's something that I take to myself. How do I put proteins to this food? Well, chickpeas. It can be lentils. It can be tofu, if you like. It can be whatever, because the guacamole is bringing the flavor, and whatever you put in there is putting the proteins. So I'm gonna give you the word, Michelle, because we need some more 11 minutes until the arepas are done.
Oh, I'm on. Perfect. I thought it was on mute, so if I got in there, so I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna pull together our last recipe that's gonna be sweet, but we need to have a moment. There's our pad thai.
Wow.
And we've got that beautiful fresh cilantro from the garden topped off on the top of it. You can see the green onions. I got a nice slice of lemon or lime, whatever your preference is. We'll do a little bit of a squeeze of that on top. I've already done a taste test. It's incredible. Very simple and a really nice, healthy dish. So, and take time at lunch as you're getting busy in these next few weeks. Make yourself something absolutely amazing and enjoy it. Pad thai is excellent, heated up the following day. So keep enjoying those recipes. So we're gonna set that over here. And we're gonna get a little nutty again, and we're gonna make a power bar or a protein bar. We talked a lot about that. You can buy a lot of them in the stores. They can be very expensive. And we want to keep your energy up so you can keep going and dancing and enjoying music and just enjoy your days. Speaking of music, my shirt today is Chris Kolpa. I want to give a great shout out to Chris Kolpa. Tonight, downtown at St. James Gate, actually one of my favorite restaurants to go and eat at. I actually spent quite a bit of time there Friday afternoon with my good friend Jason. And he's going to be playing live there tonight. So it is a long weekend here in Canada. So it's Labor Day weekend. The kids will be going back to school, the students will be going, the teachers will be going. So this is one of those really fun Sunday nights where Monday is not a work day. So maybe I'll see some of you out there. Luis, if you guys gonna go down, we're gonna check out a little Chris Kolpa tonight down at St. James Gate.
Right.
Right? Food and music. What gets better than that? And I know my friend Jason, they've got some oyster specials. So for oyster lovers, we have some of the best oysters in the world here in Atlantic Canada due to we're right on the Atlantic Ocean. There's a lot of people farming them naturally and amazing. And they had oyster hour. So you could order 1, 2, or 15, 18 oysters at a time. So it's pretty fun. So I've got an empty bowl here. And this is one of those recipes that is really easy when it comes together. And I am going to be here. I've got 2 cups of oats that's going to go into my bowl. I've also got a cup of coconut because my mom and I love coconut. So I'm going to put in there, that's a half a cup. I can see my measure in the bottom of that, half a cup of coconut. I have a half a cup of chocolate, dark, 80% dark chocolate that already has some nuts in it. So a little bit of chocolate and nuts going to be going into there. This is a quarter of a cup of chia seeds. And chia seeds are wonderful. I know sometimes they get stuck in your teeth, but they pack a lot of protein. So they're wonderful and super healthy for you. And in this bowl, I've got about a half a cup of hemp seeds as well. And again, that's where you're going to get your protein. And it's wonderful because this is a really healthy way to get that protein that you need, and you're not adding a lot of extra fats. And your body can process these things much easier than other proteins. So I'm learning to love raisins. It's so funny because for a lifetime, I don't mind raisins in some things, but being exposed to a lot more food cultures, spending a lot more time in other countries, probably eating really fresh raisins and dates. I've really grown a much bigger love for those. So we're going to put a cup of raisins in here. I can see my mother behind me smiling like, look at you, Michelle, eating the stuff that she's been wanting me to eat since I was a kid. Right? Right. So I want to get even a little bit more. We need a little bit of liquid in here. These are not going to be cooked. So I love this because what we're going to do, they do need to be refrigerated for a couple of hours. So I'm using the crunchy peanut butter from Nutsmith because I want some more nuts in here. And I only added the little bit of nuts that were inside of my chocolate. So, so if you're making these at home, you can use a variety of those ingredients. I am in this amount. I am going to put about a cup of peanut butter. And that's because I'm making a large batch of these because Michelle loves her protein bars. I often have one of these in the morning alongside of some fruit. And that's what I really enjoy to get me started in my day. I'm going to make bars with Mom's like, are you making balls or bars? As you know, the energy balls we'd roll up. Well, we're going to make this one and we're going to use bars. I do need you to come and take some of these bowls out of my way. So the other thing, and I'm going to use a mix of honey and maple syrup.
Loading.
But I know that maple syrup is not something everybody can get. I need this pan. You just need to take the bowl that you can get everywhere. But honey is definitely one of those things that you can get everywhere. So in this is going to be about a quarter of a cup to a half a cup of honey. So I'm going to do a quarter honey and a quarter maple syrup. And it's really fun with this one. I have to remind Luis to mute his microphone. I am using honey that is from Morocco. So shout out to my international dish. And it's really, really great honey. And so we're going to add a little maple here. We got some more people in Luis's kitchen. They're getting hungry for breakfast, right? So Mom and I had a little snack before. So we've got some beautiful local maple syrup. You can see just how super clear this is. This is one that's not often served everywhere, but Holy Whale uses it in their maple beer, Mullins Maple. So I'm going to add about a quarter of a cup of maple syrup. So it's about a half a cup of maple or honey, and in my case, maple and honey. So if you're in Atlantic Canada, add the two together. So this just needs to really be stirred really well. And all of these ingredients are going to come together really nicely. And I've got a pan here, which I'm going to show you. Thanks, Mom. Mom's going to hold that up. Ta-da. But the same thing in this pan is I need to put a little bit of oil or grease, exactly, right? Something across the bottom of it. And normally what I would suggest that you do, and I'm just out of right now, is use a coconut oil. And it spreads just like a regular one. But I don't have any of that, and olive oil is super healthy for you. So I'm just going to use a light spray of that olive oil. And really, I'm just going to press this mixture. I'm going to get my hands really dirty and mix it with my hands. So we're definitely going to let Luis follow up with the end of his recipe. And I'm just checking on those, our zucchini pinwheels are looking amazing in the oven. Those are going to be coming out here in a few minutes. As we're wrapping up the end of our show, we hope that we've inspired you to look at those vegetarian dishes and understand a little bit more about how you can add protein into those very easily. Obviously chicken, and I think both of us were surprised. I was surprised that neither one of us was cooking with fish here in Atlantic, Canada, because we have so much of it available to us. But in the next few weeks, I think you're going to see some great fish being in. Next week, I'm going to be in Lunenburg, Nova Scotia at our school. We have an annual welcome party for our students. I see some of our students on here, and a shout out to all of them that are watching on YouTube. It's a great way because many of our international students are coming for university and college, and they're just arriving in Canada. So welcome to all international students around the globe. Thank you for choosing Canada to come to. We're so excited about your first week coming up, and just stay connected with us. We'll help you with some recipes. And Luis, as I get this in the pan, let's wrap up the last recipes in your kitchen. I'll put myself on mute. You're on mute, just a reminder. And then Mom and I will get these bars done.
Thank you, Michelle. So I have here Lorenzo, who is my son, my 10-year-old son. We came here almost 4 years ago, directly from Venezuela. And Lorenzo wouldn't speak a word of English. Now he corrects me every time. He speaks perfect English. And we are very blessed and thankful to Canada, connecting with what you were saying, Michelle. Canada is already a beautiful, kind place to live, but the Atlantic Canada is even better. And on top of the beautiful landscape and views and rivers and lakes and everything we have here, we have something better, which is the people of Canada, which is great and loving and caring with the immigrants. So I would recommend to anybody around the globe to come to Canada if they can. So compliment to you guys. Now to the arepas. Here they go. 33 seconds more, but we are not going to use them. They are good already. So as you see, everything about these arepas is flexible. And look at them. Look at these beauty girls. This one is zucchini. And I put it there in a plate. Carrots. Boom. And plain one. Right? So I'm gonna give this phone to my son Lorenzo, who's gonna help me while I'm filling these arepas.
Last time I made those, I got a burn in my thumb.
Yeah, they are hot. They're very hot, but I have cook hands. I put it here so everybody can see. Okay, check it out. All right. So what I'm gonna do is use this fork, and I'm gonna grab a paper towel because I don't want to burn myself. I'm gonna put it there, and just like this, guys, you cut it there. This is the carrot one. Hot, so be careful. And give it a shot, guys. This is one of the best breads to eat in the world. It's not only delicious, but it's also gluten-free if you are celiac. And this simply delicious. Now I'm gonna fill it with the avocado, with the guacamole and chickpeas. Gonna be generous because we were partying last night, so we're hungry. Boom, very, very well filled. And you put it there and check this out. All right. The next one is going to be the not that hot enough. It's not that hot now. So I'm gonna fill it as well with the chickpeas and guacamole. And Lorenzo's is going to be the plain one. And the plain one, which is this one here, I'm gonna fill it with cheese and butter.
I'm a plain guy.
Because Lorenzo doesn't eat this kind of things. He doesn't like the pesky stuff. My wife and I, we love it. Look at those. And these guys It's a Venezuelan staple thing. If you see a guy doing this, it's Venezuelan because we put the rest of the dough here. I mean, last one.
And then you grab it with your hand and you
Oh yeah, and then you grab it with your hands and put some butter and eat it as well. Look at this. This one is gonna be a cheese one. The thing is, you can fill these ladies with everything you can imagine. Cheese, pork, beef, chicken, and in fact, we give them names. If it's a shredded beef with yellow cheese, we call them cifrina. we give them names according with the fillings they have. So I'm putting some butter there. I'm gonna be a little bit generous because it's Lorenzo, my public son. I wanna spoil him. And now I'm gonna put some mix of cheeses I have here. Just feta and mozzarella and whatever salty cheese you can put here. Because the arepas I mean, their flavor is like imagine a tortilla, but much better. But they're not, let's say, salty. So you need to add something that give it flavor. Push the flavor. A lot. That's it. And look at these ladies. Isn't this a great breakfast, guys? Eh? Check this out. I know it's a little bit messy, but believe me, it's gonna be messier when we start. All right. Thank you, Michelle. That's it.
Luis, hold that plate up one last time. Let's see that. Thank Lorenzo. Those look amazing.
Yeah.
Hold that right up so we can see that in the view. The plate.
Yeah. There you go.
Wow.
You deliver?
Did you hear, Mom?
Huh?
Lorenzo.
Do you deliver?
Oh no. Come over.
We might just do that. Those look amazing. Make sure you take a picture before everybody jumps in there.
Yeah,
I make it every sometimes.
And
Lorenzo, this is so simple to make, Michelle, that Lorenzo, the 10-year-old boy, can already prepare them. As you saw, it was super simple, super easy to make.
Yeah, just salt, wheat, mix it together. And water. Then you make a sphere, squish it down, and put it in the pan,
and
and then
then
air fry it.
there you go, eh?
all right, Lorenzo, you're going to be cooking with us these future weeks. We want to keep featuring more kids on there. It's such an inspiration for people to understand cooking with your family, for your family is really one of the things that we want to inspire. Luis, you're going to have to move your camera down because he's slightly shorter than you so that we can see.
Slightly.
Well,
Sorry.
so that's okay. We could just see from here up. But
You're not sure, you're fine.
right, we're gonna cook together. Look at these that are perfectly done now. The cups that will come right out with our zucchini. And I put a couple of these on a plate. You know, I think that if we combined your meal and our meal, we would have an amazing brunch together right now.
Oh yeah.
So that we would have. These are great when they sit a little bit. I just want to show everybody how beautiful they are.
Wow.
Out for serving. And they're a great accompaniment with maybe something else that you're having. A nice salad, whatever. Mom, give those a smell. You can smell the fresh herbs, the fresh garlic, and that beautiful fresh zucchini. So we hope we've got you inspired. Mom's got this plate. What do you think, Mom?
Looks good.
I think everything smells good. Come on over here on the side.
Yeah.
There's gonna be, you can see the edge So these will go in the refrigerator for a couple of hours in the cool, and then we'll be able to cut those for peanut butter protein bars. And they do need to sit for a bit because the chia seeds need to do their thing so that those all come together. So
Right.
stay healthy, get back in the kitchen. And as we always say, from our kitchen to yours, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate Louis from Delisur Canada. And as we joke about, do you deliver? He does deliver. So you can connect with him in his social medias. We'll make sure that we put those connections on there. As always, MacArthur's Flower Shop. We've got some great dried flowers behind us. Mom and I enjoy just getting that freshness in each of our week. And we'll see you next week. Where Mom won't be with me this time, but I'll be live from Lunenburg.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have a couple of our students on there. And we're going to be celebrating really Nova Scotia local foods and the things that you always find on that coastline in Nova Scotia. And like I said, over the next few weeks, we have lots going on. Louis, any final words from your kitchen? Please come see him on Saturdays at the Moncton Farmers Market. And soon he's going to be in a few other locations, but you can get a hold of him at any time and he can prepare things. And I love it. Frozen, and then you can heat them up quickly and they taste just as good as when we're getting them fresh from you on Saturdays. So thank you for that. So I'll give you the last words of Atlantic Canada Cooks for this week.
Okay, guys.
What would you like to say?
Yeah, thank you very much for being here, guys. It is always a pleasure to be here to teach you about Latin American food or any other food we can prepare. Remember to put some good stuff on your plates all the time. And love you guys. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Helen.
Well,
Gracias. And you know what? We'll also start to include some other language lessons in it anytime we have our international guests on here. I see Shinobu, we've been nodding. Even if we can teach people to say thank you or put more on my plate in another language. Well,
Ciao,
then,
Ciao, amigos.
ciao, everybody.